morning, I'm Sarah Joy and this is Sarah's Joyful Journey. We're coming back with you with another recipe. Remember, this month I am focusing on my protein so that means all meats with a little bit of keto chow. So today's recipe is going to be carnivore in nature. It's something that's easy to do for any time of the day. You can use it for meal prep or you can spice it up with some veggies however you want. This recipe is going to be a two-part recipe. So we're going to show you in two different parts what you need. All right, so coming over here, we're going to need a little bit of cheddar cheese. We're going to be making a cheddar cheese sauce shortly, so you're going to need some of that. We're going to need heavy whipping cream. We're going to need sausage. We're going to need some diced ham. This one is about the cleanest one I've been able to find. It says 0 carbs. So I'm really happy with this one. It was a little pricey. I found it at Publix. We're going to need about a pound of bacon. So we won't need this whole thing of bacon. And a dozen eggs. We're also not going to need this whole package of ham. We're going to need about between 6 and 7 ounces. And we're going to need about half to 3/4 of this sausage, but those are just the way that they come in and get started. All right, I am going to start browning the sausage and the bacon. I'll come back to show you that process and then we'll go from there. All right, I'm coming back to you with getting our sausage ready to go. I do have my Dutch oven for my bacon ready to go and a skillet for the sausage. I'm just gonna cut this end off the sausage and get it into the skillet and we'll start browning it. Let me wash my hands. Start breaking this up a bit. You want this to break up, if you can, into pretty small chunks because these are going to be egg muffins, so you don't want it to be large pieces. I kind of like to smash it down as best as I can because I like it to get brown, nice and brown and crispy, if at all possible. All right, so I'm going to cut up my bacon and we'll come back and we'll deal with the sausage in just a moment. So now I'm going to cut up my bacon. We're only going to need about a pound. This is probably about 2 pounds of bacon that I have here, but you know, extra bacon is always a nice thing. So I'm going to just cut it into chunks. I'm sure you guys have seen me cook it this way before. I'm doing smaller chunks this time because I want littler pieces. And then we're going to get this into the Dutch oven, cover it, cook it, and I'll come back when everything is completely cooked and ready to go for the next step. All right, the bacon and the sausage are done. I have our oven turned on to 375. We're going to go ahead and we're going to start assembling our 8 cups. I'm going to take the ham. This is the leftover package. And then what I'm going to do is just going to put a little bit in each compartment. You don't want it super, super full because we are going to be adding other meats on top of this. And I will have to get into that other one. So again, here I'm really not measuring. I'm just kind of eyeballing everything. I love this little diced ham. It's like perfect. Open the other one. All right, so you can see we have just a little bit in each one. A couple of these I'm going to add a little bit more to. All right, next layer is going to be our sausage. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to put a little bit of sausage in each one. Should have broke this up a little bit smaller, but that's all right. So as you can see, we didn't quite use the whole pound, but almost a pound. And again, I did cook 3 pounds of bacon, but we'll probably use nearly a pound. I just cooked extra because, you know, I like to snack on bacon. So I'll have some bacon with these 8 cups later. As soon as I'm done putting all this meat in here, I'm going to wash my hands, and then we're going to put some cheese on the top. All right, I'm going to go wash my hands, and I'll be back with you for the next part in just a moment. All right, so my hands are clean, so now I have our cheddar cheese. Again, I'm not really going to measure. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit on top of each cup. So I'm just taking just a small pinch and kind of just eyeballing it. I don't want cheese to be the main focus of these. It's just kind of sort of an accent. And it's putting together just like the Italian sausage frittata that we made a couple weeks ago in the skillet. So if you haven't seen that video, go ahead and go watch it. It's another really good, easy egg dish that works at any time of day. All right, so we got the cheese on there. Next, we're gonna come back and we're going to crack and season our eggs, and I'll show you how we're gonna do that. All right, we're back. We're gonna take our whole dozen of eggs and we're gonna get them into a bowl. I'm using a batter bowl because we're basically going to make scrambled eggs. We're going to add to this in just a moment a little bit of cream, about half a cup, and a little bit of salt and pepper. These eggs shells out of the way. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add some salt and a little pepper. You can do this to your desired amount. And then I have our heavy cream, and I'm gonna pour in half a cup of heavy cream. I'm gonna get this whipped together. Using my preferred method now is a fork instead of a whisk. And I chose to do this batter bowl because it has a spout that's going to help us with the next step in the process. All right, so I'm going to get that fork out of the way for now. And then we're gonna bring our muffin tray over and we're just gonna slowly and carefully pour some of the egg mixture on top. And then I do like to come back in with the fork and just make sure that the egg is going all the way through. This one could use a little bit more. Word of advice is just pay close attention to how you're doing this. All right, so now that you've seen how I've poured the first few, we're gonna come back and I will show you what they look like when they're done, and we'll get ready to put them in the oven. All right, as you can see, our egg cups are now full. It does work out to be about 1 egg per cup. Some of these are a little lower than the others. I guess you could have spread it out better, but that's that ratio. They're going now into the 375 degree oven. And I'm going to give them about 20 minutes. And then we're gonna come over and we're gonna start our cheese sauce. So for our cheese sauce, we're gonna need some heavy cream. We're gonna need some butter and of course cheese. And I need to grab a measuring cup again. All right, so we're gonna take our pot and we're gonna put it on medium heat. I'm gonna add in about 1.5 tablespoons of butter. And this sauce will create extra. And if you don't wanna make it for your eggs, you don't have to. It's just a fun way to take your eggs up over the top. So now I'm gonna be melting that butter. While that butter is melting, I'm going to take 1/2 cup of cream. And put it in my measuring cup. We're just gonna get this butter to start melting. Once it's melted, we're gonna put in our cream and we're going to heat it till it's nice and thick. All right, once the butter is melted, we'll come back and I'll show you putting the cream in. All right, butter is melted. You wanna make sure that we're not browning it, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna pour in our cream. And from this point out, we're gonna be stirring constantly until that cream has reduced a little bit and gotten thick. So I'm gonna stand here. This should take about 3 or 4 minutes, depending on how high you have your temperature. Just make sure you're not boiling it. I have mine between a 3 and a 4 on my electric stove. So once that is reduced and creamy, we're gonna add our cheese. I'll come back and show you what it looks like in just a few moments. All right, I have reduced the heat now to a 2. As you can see, it's kind of reduced and got a little bit thick. Its sauce is not going to be super thick, but we're going to take about 1 cup of cheese. So I know that that is roughly 1 of my handfuls, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put that cheese in, and we're going to stir that cheese until it melts, and then our cheese sauce is going to be done. So I'll show you what it looks like when it's all done, and we're ready to put it over our Carnivore muffin cups. All right, the cheese sauce is done and the cheese is all incorporated in. You can see how it's nice and thick. We have about 10 minutes left on our Carnivore muffins. So I have this turned all the way down to the lowest setting, and I'm just gonna stir it occasionally to keep it hot and liquidy while we wait for our muffins to come out of the oven. All right, our timer just went off and our lovely egg cups are done and ready to come out of the oven. As you can see, they have risen a little bit and set up nicely. So I'm gonna put these on a plate and show you how we put the cheese sauce on, and then we'll do our taste test. All right, here is our muffins on our plate, and we have our cheese sauce. I think this is enough cheese sauce for all 12, but I don't really care if it's not. You can easily double it and adjust it. I just wanted a small portion so that we have enough for ours. So I like to take a spoon and I just like to drizzle that cheese sauce right over the top of our muffin. It's just a nice way to play it up just a little bit more with a little bit more flavor. And again, this was inspired by the muffins that we ate, the Denver mini frittatas at Crystal Palace for my birthday. So there you have it. Let's go ahead and let's take a bite. Hopefully I can get a bite that's got everything. It looks like I've got sausage, ham, bacon. Look at that steam. It's super, super hot. And these are delicious. That cheese sauce definitely takes them up a notch. But again, you don't have to have the cheese sauce with these if you don't want that much dairy. It was just a fun little thing to add right on top. So there you have it. Those are our carnivore egg cups with cheese sauce.